I say we belong right there.
All right, before we get to that point right there, we've got a lot of ground to cover. Right now, we're starting out in Fairbanks. This is Pike's Waterfront Lodge. It's a beautiful spot that I'm leaving in the morning. From there, I've got to find my way 300 miles to Coldfoot. If you've ever watched Ice Road Truckers, you'll remember Coldfoot is one of those stops 300 miles away from the nearest anything and 300 miles also away from Prudhoe Bay. There are no services, there are no gas stations, there are no emergency services, 600 miles anywhere between Prudhoe Bay and the rest of civilization that are not Coldfoot.
Replacement type stuff in the road. Gorgeous out here though. Those short pine trees, and I imagine they can't branch out too far because the ice would just pull them down. So it's an interesting and different forest out here. I passed by some people here earlier who were pulled over on the side of the road, and they were picking what I can only imagine are maybe like some kind of berries or something. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that when I get to my next stop. Ask what's in season out here, what people would be picking, because I've seen on this road in several places people pulled over and some ladies out there that were punched over and gathering something from low. So I'm assuming that may be some kind of berry or something like that. I'm not sure. Righty-ho. This is Highway 3 going up towards Good Living and Coldfoot. And again, you can do this on a Harley. It's a little bumpy here and there. It's not bad. They've maintained the roads pretty well. The frost heaves and the paved, non-paved certainly take the predictability out of the road. Having Knobby Tires Help Circle sign, it said turn here. I'm like, for what? Eaten by a bear? I'm like, alright, bro. Well, let's see what in the hell this is. Lawnmower, some trash. And these random ass back road shit. Trash. Dead bodies. Probably bears. There's a motorcycle. Must be. Oh, there's one.
This guy. Oh, there's a story here.
You good?
Yep. It's weird. I was looking for the
Oh, the GPS went there?
Yeah.
I didn't follow. I just kept going straight.
It's a good thing you didn't, because there's nothing back there. It's just trash and shit.
This guy brought a brand new CVO Road Glide and did, in fact, ride it all the way up to Prudhoe Bay.
I don't turn.
This is the beginning of the Dalton. I was looking for the sign that says Arctic Circle.
On the way back, he stopped in Coldfoot and accidentally put diesel in it, disabling the bike.
From here, way up.
Okay. I have to put a sticker on there.
it burned out his oxygen sensors, so even though we flushed the tank, there was nothing we could do. I ran into him again in Fairbanks at a dealership where they were taking the bike apart and really going through it. But yes, you can actually make it all the way to Prudhoe Bay,
California.
on a Harley. On street tires.
Let's see if we can.
Why, I have no idea you would want to do that.
I'm tall, so I ought to be able to get this up there. Like, all the way up there. There you go. Yukon, right there. Johnny's in the middle. This is Alaska 11, which I believe this is the Dalton Highway, I think. Highway 11. I'm about to pull over and put my regular jacket back on. I've got it was warm back there a bit ago, so I had oh, hey, there we go. There's Dalton Highway. Alright, I can take a picture in front of that. Sign off over to here. Bureau of Land Management. I used to work for those guys. Alright. Hey, there's the sign. So let's see. We're gonna position right to here. Bam. Last time I stopped, I was welcomed by the mosquito committee. Sunny day at the Arctic Circle. Right there. That's where I'm at right now. The back of this sign. Bunch of stickers, and there's the one for Johnny's. Look at that guy. I know those people. Wow. One hell of a clear day. Currently right now, dodging potholes on the Dalton Highway, headed towards Coldfoot. I believe I'm about 60 miles out, somewhere around there. Something like that. About 60-ish miles out. What is it? Oh, no services. Jim River Station, State of Alaska, Department of Transportation and Public Facilities. Alright. Well, I would say if you don't have the GSA, when you left the last place, you should have your little extra fuel tank thing filled up. Because those hills eat up a lot of fuel. See what my fuel consumption looks like. Down here, over here. Fuel consumption. Consumption is 37.9 miles per gallon, call it 38 miles per gallon. And that's largely because of the hills and the bursts of flooring it. So, I'm sure if I just putted along, I could get great gas mileage. I'm supposed to be able to get about 300 miles out of this tank. Long story short, we're going to switch modes to Dynamic Pro, which we just did. And then we're going to slow down to about 55. Set the cruise control there. And just, sit back. There we go. Have a cup of coffee and just watch for potholes. Look at the scenery. But yeah, the autopilot version is fantastic on these things. You could just, I woke up from a nap at my destination. It was wonderful.
All right, here's a little history. Made famous by the Ice Road Truckers of the History Channel, Coldfoot Camp has a rich history of catering to the adventurous going back to the gold rush of the 1890s and revival of the gold rush in the 1970s. Originally founded in 1898 as Slate Creek, it was settled by prospectors looking for a place to relax, gamble, drink, and hang out with the few women of the area. The name Coldfoot actually came when those who couldn't hack the harsh winters went south, where it was said that they have cold feet. In 1912, the camp was relocated several miles up to Wiseman to the newly discovered gold beds where the few original cabins remain to this day. Coldfoot largely stayed abandoned until the 1970s during the construction of the Trans-Alaska Pipeline and Haul Road, now known as the Dalton Highway, where I am right now. The camp's population exploded into hundreds, but dwindled down to nearly zero until the Iditarod champion Dick Macy set up an old-school bus, sold burgers to truckers who traveled to and from Fairbanks and Prudhoe Bay. Over the years, the truckers dropped off and left over building material and even helped with the construction, giving the camp an improvised look and feel as it grew, which you're about to see right now. Everything there is ad hoc. Everything there is hand-built by people who cared enough to give themselves a place to have a respite in between their travels. 600 miles separate Prudhoe Bay from Fairbanks, and the only thing in between is right here. This is Coldfoot.
This is Coldfoot, and this is the Coldfoot camp.
Coldfoot Camp right now is being used by a couple multinational corporations that are looking for gold and minerals in Alaska.
I got a chance to get here and film any of this.
Helicopters landing and taking off with local geologists in them on behalf of outside companies are not uncommon during the summer.
This is the inside.
Covered in history.
So, there's always somebody sleeping. That's what I gather from right there. So, what I also gather from over here is that I need to go back that way.
Indeed, I did. There's a cafe in there where you can check in. They'll hand you the keys, tell you what room you go into, and there you have it.
Now is across over there.
This whole building is basically a series of trailers that have all been put together.
Get checked in.
Everything is handmade, including the handle. There are no hardware stores nearby. That's for knocking snow off your boots. Each one of these to the left and right is a room. They have wash facilities there, which were great. My room had 2 beds, a shower, and a toilet in it, which is all you need. There's that plane again. As you can see, a series of portable trailers connected together are what make up that building.
Well, it's midnight. And that's what it looks like. Now on my watch, which is still an hour behind, it's like 1 a.m., like 1:05. I'm currently here because I'm in a different time zone. The whole it's midnight, 0:30, if you believe that. So, cheers.
That's a hell of an experience.
I asked a guy yesterday, I said, so where does all this oil, you know, you guys made a pipeline for 800 miles and it's all full of oil currently. I said, well, what happens if it runs out? How are you going to pump the rest of it out? He goes, it's not going to run out. I said, how's that? And now I understand. The oil comes from the decomposition of all this frost, all this junk right here. So this is renewing itself and making more as it decomposes and creates more. You talk about creating biodiesel, and the way that they create biodiesel, the entirety of the northern part of Alaska is a biodiesel factory, which is why there's a pipeline here. I hadn't even thought about that. Biodiesel is being made every year, every time this thaws out, every time the moss and the algae decomposes, and you just have more of it being made, which is why they, with confidence, made an 800-mile pipeline that's big enough to fit 5 people down, and said, yeah, we're just, you know, it's worth the investment. The scale of which, just the maintenance on this and everything, these guys tell me that you could basically shut down all oil production everywhere else in the United States and not accept any foreign oil, and the Alaska pipeline could supply the United States with oil indefinitely. There you go. I was today years old when I learned that. It seemed way too easy. This one here seems a little more significant. If you look all the way up there, you'll see a truck up at the top. This one right there kind of coming down, and I got this guy in front of me. I'm hoping that at some point when he starts slowing down, I can scoot around him without him getting mad at me. I hear there's a Starbucks on the top. We'll find out. I'm filming. Am I filming? Maybe I'm coming. Adigan Pass? 100%. This has got to be it. Adigan Pass. Right here. Oh yeah. Look at that. Beautiful view. Somewhere there's a Starbucks up at the top. I think it's up there. Not yet, I guess. Well, we'll have to just feed her the youngins. Yeah, no Starbucks up here. Oh. Well, shoot. Maybe it's in there. I would say this is the top of the Adigan Pass. And then this must be the downside. Now, the bummer about this is I've been all the way up here and I have not found one Starbucks yet. I'm still looking. So, we'll see. As they say, it's all downhill from here. I love going uphill. I hate going downhill. Especially on stuff that's slick and gravelly. Into the middle of nowhere. So, I'll be careful on the way down here. I might stop down there and take a picture or something because that looks really cool. You know, stuff.
Going over the Adigan Pass, you can't help but feel like you're traveling through a gateway. The world's energy is on the other side of it. Everything south is the noise. It's everyone's emotions. It's all the nervous energy. But as you travel through this gateway, you feel it closing off. And everything to the north of you is extraordinarily peaceful. This is the gateway to the north. Between here and Prudhoe Bay is nothing but solitude. And to me, one of the most peaceful places on the planet. Adigan Pass, with an elevation of 4,739 feet, is a very significant point of this journey. As I travel over the Adigan Pass, I'm crossing the Continental Divide rivers to the north, which empty into the Arctic Ocean, while rivers to the south empty into the Bering Sea. North of Adigan Pass, the permafrost grows deeper than 2,000 feet into Prudhoe Bay. It is present almost everywhere. South of the pass, permafrost areas become thinner and less prevalent. If you look to your left, you'll see a raised animal pipeline crossing. This is where the pipeline has specifically been brought up to allow animals to travel underneath it. There are 554 elevated crossings built into the Trans-Alaska Pipeline system. These crossings are a minimum of 10 feet high and allow the free movement of large game across the pipeline. Everywhere else you can see, it sits low enough to be serviceable, and you'll notice these little spots where it becomes elevated, specifically to allow animals to cross underneath it, like there. Also to the left is Gilbreth Lake. This large glacial lake was dammed by a terminal moraine located to the north. This area has beautiful views, good hiking opportunities into the Brooks Range. It is a great place to stop to take in the beauty of this region. There are interpretive panels everywhere. The Brooks Range historic uses of the area and major archaeological discoveries are one of the best reasons to come and view this amazing, beautiful, serene place on this earth. To my left, you'll see pump station number 4. It has the highest elevation of all 11 stations, stretching from Prudhoe Bay to Valdez, and sits at 2,700 feet.
Where's home?
California.
Cool. Did you have a good trip?
Yeah. Oh. How much gas do you have left on your tank right now? What does it say?
Range?
Yeah. Mine says 218 miles.
Did you fill up in Coldfoot?
Yeah.
You must have a heavy, heavy hand.
Oh, yeah. What's yours say?
370.
370. Wow. Like mine never says 370 even when I fill it.
Really?
No. Of course, I'm kind of. My wrist is broken.
I was just saying,
Hi.
I'll have plenty of fuel. I'm not saying I could go up there and back, but I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Getting there.
I've got a extra little fuel bladder thing in here.
Yeah.
There's just a couple of, like, when coming up the first part before you get to the actual climb for Adigan Pass, you know, just like fourth gear and just feed it the onions. And then up Adigan, I was being sensitive to the other drivers that were up there. And then, of course, down, I was going nice and easy on it and everything. And then there's just a couple spots in here where the road was smooth enough to where you could just stand up on the bike, watch for potholes, and, you know.
Yeah, two out, new kind of behave. A little different than riding solo.
I got better gas mileage when I had the Dunlops on it.
Harder, smoother.
Yeah, I had those, and they're great on the road, too. I threw the knobbies on here just for this, and I'm kind of glad I did because they've been fantastic on the you know, on the gravelly stuff. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's good and all, but I can't help but wonder sometimes people make a mountain out of a molehill. I was down in Vancouver Island, and I rode around all over the northern part of the island on logging roads.
Uh-huh.
And street tires on a Goodsey. It was just fine.
Well, gravel can turn into ball bearings. I know when I had these tires on and I did Eagle, Alaska has that road it takes about 2 hours to get up to Eagle and then 2 hours to get back down through there.
Yep.
There was a couple spots in there where, you know, you gotta turn and you're going downhill, and I was sliding a little bit on some of that stuff where I needed a little bit more grip, whereas these guys have that little bit more grip. But other than that, I don't really notice the difference all that much.
Yeah. You doing up and back today, or are you going to stay up there? Or?
I'm going to stay up there and then go back to Coldfoot and then stay there, and then I want to do some sightseeing stuff. I'd like to try and get a little bottle of crude oil if I can to take back home with me. I don't know if they do that or not.
I don't know where you're going to do that. Just drain out your engine.
I could do that. I went cross country and I got a half a jar of sand at the Pacific Ocean and a half a jar of sand at the Atlantic Ocean, and I kind of want to do the same thing here.
Cool. Yeah, ask around. Although, I doubt you'll be able to find any. But, could be wrong. They're pretty sticklers on that shit.
Yeah. Well, I got a hoodie from my bar. I'm willing to trade for it, so we'll see.
There you are.
I'll see if I can bribe somebody. Anyway,
You passed a dude on a Triumph and a Africa Twin?
what's that?
Did you pass a guy on a Africa Twin and a Triumph at all, or didn't see him?
There's a couple that's headed up behind me, and then there's a group of like 8 that just older guys that are on a bunch of different shit. I have no idea what they were riding, really. I think there was a couple GSs in there and a couple of whatevers, V-Stroms or whatever. I wasn't really paying attention to the bikes.
We stayed at camp just outside of Coldfoot last night. We rolled in late and pulled out this morning. There were 2 people, and they were trying to start a fire for like an hour, and they just appeared to be slower than molasses, so maybe they ride slower than molasses too.
Yeah, I left about an hour after everybody that's behind me. And I grew up on dirt bikes just outside of Las Vegas, so for me this road's no big deal. The only big deal about it is if you wreck, it's a long time before somebody will come and pick you up. But the road's easy as hell. I just wouldn't want to be doing it in the rain, because I know when it's wet it's got that shit on it that makes it real slick, and I've already encountered some of that. Yeah, whatever that is. But the road itself is great.
Cool. Well,
Probably the reason why I'm eating through so much fuel. You guys enjoy your day.
All right. Ready for some history? Here we go. The James W. Dalton Highway, usually referred to as the Dalton Highway and signed as Alaska Route 11, is a 414-mile-long road in Alaska. It begins at the Elliott Highway north of Fairbanks and ends at Dead Horse. Once called the North Slope Haul Road, a name by which it is still known today, it was built as a supply road to connect the Trans-Alaska Pipeline System built in 1974 and is named after James Dalton, a lifelong Alaskan and engineer who supervised construction of the distant early warning line in Alaska, and as an expert in Arctic engineering, served as a consultant in early oil exploration in northern Alaska. It is also the subject of the second episode of America's Toughest Jobs and the first episode of the BBC's World's Most Dangerous Jobs. In 1966, Governor Walter J. Hickel opened the North Slope to oil extraction. To improve access to the oil fields, a 400-mile-long winter road was planned between Livingood and Prudhoe Bay. Construction started in November 1968, and the Walter J. Hickel Highway was completed by March 1969. But due to poor engineering, the construction of the road exposed the underlying permafrost to thawing, and the road was abandoned by April of that year. Maintenance was not performed on that route until Trans-Alaska Pipeline System, basically. You see how the road is built up above everything else right now. This is to keep it above the permafrost, and also during the winter, to have some place to put all that snow. All the roads are elevated in this way because everything below them is either permafrost or tundra, which is basically marshland. You'll also notice there are no trees. Aside from the harsh winter just tearing trees apart, the trees can't get any kind of root because the permafrost prevails everything. So what you're left with out here are miles and miles of peat moss, grasses, and other things that you would generally try to make biodiesel out of. This top cap of the world is basically a biodiesel generating factory.
There you go. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but this guy was just kind of hanging out here in the road, and he's just sitting there looking at me now. I'm not sure what he is. Kind of maybe moose, maybe caribou, maybe moosaboo. I'm gonna roll forward a little bit and see if I can get around him without pissing him off. I need to go that way, so I'm gonna go around you this way.
The last 60 miles going out to Prudhoe Bay is paved, beautifully, by the way. However, there is a growing debate over whether or not they want to keep it that way. Ultimately, it's much harder to keep the frost heaves in check when you have asphalt underneath. When you just have a dirt road, you can grind it down. But frost heaves are a major consideration where this asphalt is. However, as you get to the interior of where Prudhoe Bay actually is, it becomes more necessary to have roads that are easier to maintain, as there's heavier traffic in these areas between maintenance vehicles and the oil fields themselves. Everything just beyond the road itself is completely undisturbed. This whole facility is a model of environmental protection. That right there is the end of the Dalton Highway.
Taking you on as much of this experience as I can. A lot of people just like take a picture in front of it, which I get that. But for like my parents who are probably watching this, I'm never going to get a chance to get up here. So this is what it looks like at Prudhoe Bay. It is as industrial as you can imagine. Nope, there it is right there. There's the spot. And some fucking asshole's parked right in the middle of it. All I want to do is stick my bike there and take a picture, and I gotta go in and find this fucker. What a prick. Alright, fine. Well, there's only one way to get up there. So, first off, we're doing this for starters. This is for all those people that support the bar and support my ability to take care of my parents. There are two stickers that are going up there, that one and that one. So we're going to start with that. So, gloves off. I imagine the only way to do this is to stand on your bike. So, at some point, of course my backpack is caught in something back here. I'll just have to rip it off because of that, as it decided to get stuck. So, I'm going to put my sticker up there as high as I can get it. Ooh, that is some slippery mud. Oh, there we go. That Johnny's one is gonna go right here. We're gonna stick that right there. Okay, there's one. Now the other one, a little harder to put on. So, we'll see how this goes. Just stick that on there. I think.
It'll go there. Now the question is, can I, without tipping the bike over, whoop, peel that off without screwing up the sticker? Thank you, Brian, for making those stickers. There you go. I hope you can see that, and how I'm up on my bike and how much I trashed my bike doing this. Oh, gotta thank Mike Corbin, whose seat I'm trashing right now, for making an awesome motorcycle seat that held me and kept me from cramping the whole way up here. So there it is. I gotta take a picture of it. I'm gonna center that bike here in just a second, but I needed it to get to right there. So I'm gonna take one picture of it just the way it is, like that.